start from the beginning. This is the first ever bird I've killed, and I owe it all to Tom. It was about 4:30 in the morning on Saturday, headed down to Brown County to meet Tom at his property. We pulled up the drive around 6, we get out, headed into the woods up the trail. We get a little deeper in the woods, we stop, Tom called. We heard 2 across the road, 1 to our left, but the 2 across the road were too far, so we headed out towards the 1 on the left. We get a little closer, thought it'd be a good idea to call again, nothing, silence. So then we called again, then we heard 2 or 3 back where we started. So we headed back up the trail, back towards the edge of the woods. When we got a little closer, Tom called, and we heard probably 2, 3, 4 birds on the other side of the woods. My heart was pumping. I was ready to go. Tom didn't want to get any closer and scare him away, so we backed up a little bit, got in some brush in front of this tree. He got behind me with the video camera, and I sat in front of the tree ready to go. Tom called, and they all went nuts. So I'm ready to go, got my gun up, and then all of a sudden a fan comes over the horizon of the trail to the left of the decoy. Another one comes up right behind him. Then I hear Tom behind me whisper, "Take the one on the right." So I put my bead right on the one on the right, and I just hear Tom whisper, "Take him." Walked up there, I was excited, heart was pumping, just didn't have any words to say, just speechless.
He's gonna flop, probably. Look at the spurs, yeah. Good spurs. Awesome. It had my heart pumping. It was exciting to see him come strutting down the road like that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, look at that. Big, thick, long beard. Whew. See how heavy he is. And when I was presented the opportunity to go with Connor here at the office, and knowing that Connor had only been turkey hunting one other time, I just jumped at the opportunity because I just love it when I see somebody get exposed to that. Maybe not for the first time, but just to be a part of that as they're cutting their teeth and learning more about turkey hunting. We have a 500-acre lease in Brown County, Indiana, and I had only turkey hunted at one other time the year prior. So here we are a year later, and in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, I hope there's birds gobbling in there, because the year before, one turkey on 500 acres is pretty sparse. Well, that morning is the type of morning that all turkey hunters dream of. It was a bluebird sky, cool air, no wind, and just as the sun started to rise and you get that pink sky in the morning, birds were gobbling everywhere. And it's just one of those moments and one of those mornings that you would wish would last forever. So this was one of those days, was just epic. It was perfect. As Connor told you how the hunt unfolded, when we finally saw that gobbler cresting that ridge, the rise in the road there, and he was able to put a good shot on him, I mean, the celebration began, and I was as excited as he was, and the fact that we were able to capture it on film just made it that much more special. And I just really savored and enjoyed that moment with him. It wasn't long after the adrenaline and the heartbeat started kind of calming down, and we were just sort of gathering our senses and kind of reliving the hunt. Connor looked at me and he said, "Let's go get you one," and I hadn't even thought about that yet. I wasn't there for me, but again, we were having such a good morning and the birds were gobbling everywhere. Why not? Let's go give it a shot. I enjoy hunting with a muzzle-loading shotgun, which is kind of a challenge, but it makes it that much more interesting when you're able to harvest one. But I was so excited for him, and then now all these birds nearby, you get a nervousness. I totally goofed up, and I put my shot and shot cup down the barrel before I put my powder in. Stupid rookie mistake. So my gun was useless, and I didn't want to take the time or make noise to unload it because the birds were nearby. So Connor volunteered to let me borrow his brand new shotgun. What do we call it? I think we called it Darth Vader or something like that, because it's a black beast and it shoots a heck of a great tight round for turkey loads. But we just went a short distance from where he shot his turkey into a small opening behind this farm barn, this property barn. And we weren't there long, set a decoy up, and I backed up against a tree in the shadows, and 2 great longbeards came out in the field, strutted down the distance of the field. And actually the one that was behind the bird I shot was the bigger of the 2 birds. But as they got closer to the decoy, they saw or felt something wasn't quite right, and I could just recognize their body language that they weren't going to come any closer. As a matter of fact, they started to turn to leave. So a bird in hand is worth two in the bush, and I took the lesser of the two, but it was still a great longbeard and capped off a thrilling morning. Both of us being able to harvest a turkey that year, but to be able to be a part of Connor's hunt and see the enjoyment and thrill on his face and videotape it and then top it off with me taking the second turkey, it was just one for the books.
There was two of them. The other one was a strutter. This one was just standing in front of the strutter. They got to right here, and then they both kind of folded and went like that and looked over. Then they kind of started to turn around and go back this way. And it was kind of, I thought, now or never. I would have loved for them to come on out here in the view because it was just beautiful. Big old red, white head and full strut. But it's the last weekend. Tomorrow's Mother's Day. So this is my last day to be able to hunt for the year. Another 3-year-old. Look at that. Got a little beard on him. A little wet now, but look at that. It's probably 9.5 or 10 inches.